Hey you guys, how's everybody doing? Got a flashlight review for you guys. I've got an Ozark Trail OT 1250L. Give you a quick spin around of it. Pretty nice light. I've had it for about a year now, I think it's been, because I've wanted to test it out the best I can. See what it's capable of. Picked it up at Walmart, one of my local Walmarts, since I live about halfway between two of them. But picked it up for about 45 bucks, and just ignore the stuff that I've ended up leaving out here. Been meaning to put up, but yeah. But picked it up for about 40 bucks, a little bit more with tax, of course. And I can't say that I'm dissatisfied, unsatisfied, whatever. I'm a redneck, I don't know proper English. But it's got 1250 lumens on the bright setting, 175 on the low setting. What I found anyway, since I usually use it on the bright setting, is it's got about an hour, maybe 2 hours lifespan on the bright setting, and they claim it lasts for up to 21 hours on the low setting, with full charge, of course. In order to turn it on the bright setting, just click the button once. It's bright center again. And then to turn it on the low setting, just kind of double tap it. Hope y'all can see the difference here. It's got a little lever right here. Up is, it's got a little sensor on it here around the light. Up is turn that sensor off. Down is turn it on. Also see a green mark for on. And a red for off. But what that sensor does is, once it gets enough light reflected back into it, it dims it down. I don't much like that part, but that's just me. I've also drop tested it off my porch here. I stand about 5'5"-ish and try to get better lighting here. So from about my chest down to solid dirt, I've measured it out, and it's sorry for that, but it's about 20-foot drop there, give or take, and it's actually survived, and survived well. And to charge or recharge it, just pull the little top here up, and it takes your standard, like, USB-C charger, I think is what it's called. Well, it comes with just a cable, like a little 2-3 footer, give or take. But it does take your standard, like, USB-C type, like a lot of, like, Androids use, LG phones, basically anything other than an iPhone. But how bright is it, you ask? Oh. Let me show you here. Let my camera focus right quick. But that's the bright setting. That tree you see there, that's 50-60 yards away or so. Turn it off. Double press. The low setting. Basically just bright enough to see what you're doing up close. Like, say you're out grilling one night. Need to check the temperature. Just bright enough to do it. Need to see what's going on. Yeah, just bright enough to do it. Or say it's after dark here and you need to check something out. Just bright enough to see your deck, bright enough to see out there. Overall, it's a pretty good light from what I've done with it anyway. It served last deer season out in the woods. I was able to track down the deer that I got with it. Pretty well, actually. What I did when I first got it is I went ahead and stuck it on the charger overnight. Figured I'd give it some time to charge. I'm gonna prop my feet up, so never mind me. But I let it charge overnight, first night. Figured that'd be plenty of time to let it charge. And it kind of seems to me that anyway, from about half lifespan with the charger that I've been using, because I've got a junk charger that I don't really want to throw away just yet, that I've been using, but with it, it takes about 30-45 minutes to charge. But not terrible. I mean, it could be better, but overall not terrible. I really don't have any complaints about this thing. Mostly compliments. I mean, it's plenty bright, has a decent lifespan. A little bit smaller, I think, than your average mag light, but easier to charge. Just simply pull, plug in, set it down, and walk away while it's charging. Something else I forgot to mention, but it's got a little light up here just above the charging port, and it stays a steady red while it's charging, and as soon as it gets done, that light turns green, so you know, hey, I can unplug it now. But at least with this, you don't have to unscrew a cap and pop a couple of like C or D batteries. I forget which my mag light takes because I've been using this anymore now. But take those batteries out and then either put them on the charger if you got rechargeables, or pop a couple more in and screw the cap back on. I believe this is made of all plastic though, if I remember right. I ended up throwing the packaging away a long time ago, so I can't honestly tell you. But it's surprisingly sturdy, don't get me wrong. This thing has survived several drops, rolled down the hillside a couple of times, because I guess I'm clumsy like that. Hasn't killed me yet. Like I say, used it throughout deer season last year. Like, say early mornings, headed to the stand, leaving out that night, headed back up to the house. About every night I was using it. Well, every morning and night, should I say. Again, I have no complaints other than just the simple fact that I don't care much for that sensor. I always leave the auto adjust off. Just my preference. But for 40 bucks, like an all plastic light, I don't have any real complaints. Be nice if it was camo. Or like me being your typical redneck, I like diamond tread. But, you know, it is what it is. I've only ever seen it in this silver. Maybe we can convince them to make more colors. But, you know, for 40 bucks plus tax, I can't say anything bad about this little guy. Just go to your Walmart. I've been in several Walmarts and I've seen at least one on the shelf almost all the time. You ought to pick yourself one up. Especially if you're a hunter. And those little cheap things, like those dollar lights that you drop once from like 2 foot and they just fall apart, and they're never bright enough, you ought to get one of these, especially if you're a hunter. Or like, say, maybe if you're a truck driver, say you drive at night a lot, might be something you want to check into for something to throw in your glove box or your console. I actually need to get one to throw in the glove box of the old tan turret over there, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet, because I do quite a bit of night driving. But these are some fantastic lights. I cannot brag on them enough. You gotta check one out. They're extremely useful. Or like, say, if you're ranching or you're a trapper, I mean, these are great for all kinds of people. I want to check one out. But until next time, see you guys around.